Has anyone else been feeling very low energy today and been feeling the matrix really trying to keep you down in low vibrations as much as possible? This girl. Yeah. I woke up today feeling weird and shaken from dreams I experienced last night. It was one weird dream after another. And I realized I didn't get a chance to do my affirmations last night before bed. So, my bad. Take accountability for that. Because right now we have to be on our shit, right? We have to be on it. And I just wanted to say that it took me, I went through my breath work. I did my morning gratitude and affirmations and invocations, and even, got outside to ground. And it took quite some time for me today to really kind of reel it back in. And so I'm curious if anybody else has been feeling that. Sorry about the shake, guys. So I'm curious though, yeah, has anybody else been feeling that today and recently? I mean, I know we're at the end. I know Mercury retrograde is technically ended on the 20th and today's the 22nd. But we are in the shadow period until April 9th. And I'm definitely still feeling that. I feel like that's part of what it is. Plus, we're coming up to the new year, April 1st. So, and then plus us just crossing over the equinox, the spring equinox. The matrix is trying very hard, and the powers that were are trying very hard to keep us light workers that are, working through and releasing down as much as possible. And they are trying to get to us in any way possible. That is why our spiritual protection is so important right now. And I felt called to talk about my experience, what I was dealing with today, because I'm going to assume that others are feeling it too. Especially us light workers that are still, trying to that might keep, that the matrix keeps trying to pull back into survival mode, or maybe some of our, unhealed traumas are still trying to keep us pulled back into survival mode as well. And that's where they have access to us, is low vibrational energies have access to our energies when we have not released our low energies, right? The other way that they have access to us is through other people who are low energy, who are unhealed. And recently, somebody had wanted me to meet a new friend. And I, for the past 7 years, haven't let anybody in. It's very rare. The only people that I had let in were some of my previous clients I've had. And so that was by choice. And they were great people. So it was good. But recently, somebody had asked me to meet somebody. They had actually wanted me to meet this person for about a year. And I only didn't do it until recently because I had so much going on in my own life and my own healing work that I didn't have the energy or the bandwidth for it. Plus, I guess it just didn't resonate for me, right? And however, I did a couple of weeks ago reach out to this person. And then a couple of days ago, when I was in a situation where I needed support from a friend, and this person had pretty much declared themselves friends initially, and I felt like, okay, that seems appropriate as well. But there were some signs that that wasn't quite true. And then I found this to be even more true. That this, through conversation, through their own addictions they currently have, through their own, what's the word? The ways that they're still connected to the matrix, they're unhealed ways. If you're going to allow other beings in your life and they are unhealed, it can be detriment for you. If you are not in a space of healed space yet, well, we're always healing, but if you're not in a healed space yet where your boundaries are gold, golden fortress, right? If you're still working on creating those in a productive way, or, in an efficient way to be able to keep out But at the same time, meeting these beings is also the reflection of what you still need to work on in yourself. So it's like you still want these beings coming in because it's also testing you, like, how soon are you going to recognize it before you go, oh, no, no, that's not a person that is ready to be in my space. So I had realized this on our second encounter, and then for sure on our third. And I won't get into too many details about it in case, just for integrity purposes of, not calling out this person completely. But it became very obvious to me on the third day. So that's huge. These are huge, what's the word? Milestones that you need to give yourself a pat on the back, give yourself, a nice hug. Good job. Good job, little self. Because for me, it would take, I'd hold on to a person like that out of codependency issues, or just like, oh, you're the only person I have. And at least it's a body. No. No, 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 no. Because what that body does is it allows for low vibrational energies to have access now into you. And that is something that I have become so much more aware of recently, and understanding that when people talked about it previously in my life, I'd be like, oh, okay, I'd hear it, but it didn't really resonate. It resonates now because I see what happens to my life when I allow a person to come in who is unhealed, who has addiction issues, who is super unhealed, who is still very, very attached to the matrix. Those low energies then have access to that person who has access to you. And now those low energies have access to you and can now in turn try to mess with your energy. And that is something that I want to make sure that you're all aware of. If you have not seen the movie Fallen, watch it, because it's very true. It's so accurate. In fact, I think I want to try to find it to watch it again, because I saw it a long time ago, well before I was awakened. And it's been something I've thought about through my awakening journey, but more recently, as I have really started to understand how important it is to not allow people in your space that are, with addiction issues, with unhealed issues that are very attached to the matrix, because what that is access points for low energies to attach to them, to therefore get to you. And if you're a light worker and you've created your own boundaries for yourself where they can't access you directly anymore, now low vibrational energies are going to try to access you through other beings. And so they're going to send people in looking like friends, looking like people that are going to support you, potentially looking like spiritual healers, So you have to be very discerning. And this is something that I wish I could have known earlier. It definitely would have saved me a lot of, I know people were telling me things like this and I wasn't ready to hear it, because I couldn't hear it at the time. I didn't understand it. So hopefully for any of you that have resonated to this video, to this message today, if I'm hoping that I am articulating this correctly or properly, that you are able to hear this, because it is so important. That, trust me, you would rather be alone than have one person who is low vibrational, unhealed addictions, even if they're like, oh, I need this pain medication for pain. I mean, they may have good intentions for this. Pardon me, I'm just plugging in my laptop. It's running low on battery. They may have good intention, on a personal level, which I have another friend that is in this category, and, really truly want to be within your space and, support you and help you. and, truly using these pain medicines because they believe that that's, the only way to go because the pain is so intense. That's their stuck point though. And that stuck point for them allows, what is it? An access point for low vibrational energies to access them, therefore accessing you if you allow this person into your space, right? So the message that I really was hoping to just put forth here right now is be aware right now that we are on attack daily. I know that, like I had mentioned, I missed one day of my daily ritual work where I didn't miss it all. I just missed just even a portion of it. You know what I mean? And that one day gave the lower energies one they because they're on it. Your light shines so bright that they want that energy. They want to siphon that energy from you. And any chance that you give them, they're going to act on it. So, number one, keep on top of your spiritual work. Keep on top of your spiritual protection. Discern who you are allowing in your life. If you're like me and you can't find anybody yet because you're still waiting for your tribe to come in, trust me, be alone. It's so much better to be alone. The other part about this is, it took me like double the time it would take me to kind of get my morning going, because right now I'm in a slower space as I'm healing my body on a physical level, from some areas that have been discussed in previous videos. And then recently, because of a botched blood draw by a phlebotomist who broke open my blood vessel and hit a nerve. So now she gave me a blood clot and I am on blood thinners to be able to remedy that situation by that malpractice that occurred. But yeah, so if anybody knows the holistic way to try to help a blood clot, please put that in the comments. I would love that. I still have to research that myself because I hate the fact that right now I'm being forced to use blood thinner medication. But that's besides the point. I didn't want to go there. But that's some of these things are making it a little bit harder for me to get up. So I need, a certain amount of time. But today it was like double the time because of this extra energy that tried to attack me last night and in my dream space last night. So it's really important to ensure that. So the thing I did was I made sure, yep, I'm on top of my breath work this morning. I'm on top of my daily gratitude. I'm on top of my mantras and my invocations, my dailies, my protection, and my calling out judgment, my daily judgment as a spiritual warrior. And so if you're a spiritual warrior, you'll respect that side of it. But as a generational curse breaker, generational trauma breaker, these are the things that we have to be on top of right now, because if we're not, the powers that were, the lower vibrational energies, they will find ways to attack you. It was just 13:31 on the clock, FYI. So I did those things diligently and made sure I got all that in today. And then also, obviously getting out into nature and grounding with Mother Earth and the elementals and, having conversations is very important. But the other part that I feel I have just mastered well, and I know you can't tell from my spaces because unfortunately I've had to move so much in the past, actually in the past 7 years since this whole healing has started, but 3 years especially. But I always ensure that the space that I have is a grounding Zen space that incorporates all the elementals, fire, water, wind, earth, spirit. However, you want to do it for yourself. I have incense, sage, myrrh, frankincense, Palo Santo, that'll burn every day. And then some Nakchamba at times, but I have candles with affirmations on them. I will have, water with salt on my altar, as well as, feathers for wind, and my crystals, obviously, too. And this is not just for me, but it's for my animals and my plants. And then having the plants within there, my grounding mat to ensure that when I am inside, I am still connected to Mother Earth. And all this has been very important into recalibrating me and reharmonizing me from what I experienced this morning, waking up from these really weird dreams. They were so weird, you guys. But again, it left me in a weird space of just feeling really off and very not like myself. And I could tell something was trying to bring me down. Something wanted to keep me low. And that's the whole point, is right now, as we come into the new year, the low vibrational energies are trying so hard to keep us low vibrational and not in high vibrations. And so that's why gratitude is so essential right now. And I'm so happy that I chose that as one of my first projects to do. As I become comfortable in speaking, become comfortable in my authentic self, become comfortable with YouTube, become comfortable with this whole process. And so, anyways, if anybody has any comments about your own experiences that you're experiencing right now, I would love to hear it. And it's so helpful for the collective to know that we're not alone. And, I send you all so much love and so much light and healing for all the benevolent souls that are on their own awakening path and coming out of survivalhood and victimhood mentality and lack mentality, scarcity mindset. If you are watching this, this is confirmation that no matter what you're dealing with now, whether it's in a good space or the bad space, you are on the path to a better, better, better life. So much better. And creating the spaces to keep yourself high vibrational is vital. For me, it helped. I mean, it was one of the first things I taught myself 7 years ago when I started this path intuitively. And I love creating beautiful Zen-like, high uplifting spaces, because and I've done it in big spaces. I've done it in small spaces. I can do it in vehicles. I found I can do it outside. Obviously outside is really easy, but, yeah, like I said, again, if this resonates for you, would love for you to hit the like, and subscribe, because yeah, I'm just about finished with my gratitude project, and I'm going to be doing a recap on that, on what I've learned, and how I've integrated that, or how integration has been. I'll have some integration time after that and then speak on it. But I have other projects that I'm so excited to start intuitively allowing myself to be guided into, to be able to present to the public, and hopefully in a more authentic way, because that first gratitude project was intended for me to really try to hone in on my authenticity. And so thank you for all of you who have followed, who have subscribed. I give you all so much credit, because I know that it's probably been really hard to watch me, because it was uncomfortable. It's been very uncomfortable. When you have never known yourself and never known your true authentic self, and you're learning it right now in your 40s, I mean, takes a minute to to turn that around and to learn that for yourself. And so I'm so grateful and appreciative of all of you who have followed along and encouraged me throughout the journey so far. Know that it only gets better, because also the more comfortable I get on camera, the more comfortable I'll be able to be by allowing my authentic self, my higher self, the Most High, to be able to speak through me, therefore being able to give you more authentic messages that are source driven and filled with light codes and love. So I will end it there. And thank you so much for watching, and sending all my love and gratitude. Mwah.